In this Power City live stream, I'm joined by Fast Abdoul, a founder of the PHUX protocol, and today we're going to be talking more about that and the new power play pool over on PHUX and how you can earn yield on top of yield by also doing some LP staking on PHUX. So with no further ado, let me bring up the man, Mr. Fast Abdoul in the house.
Hey, Matt, thanks for having me.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Thanks for taking the time to come on. I'm sure people know about you in the community from the PHUX protocol. Tell us about yourself, though. How did you get into Pulse Chain and crypto, and what's your background with all this stuff?
That is a good question. Well, I got into crypto sort of on the back end of the top of the last cycle, and I thought I was a freaking genius, Matt. The numbers kept going up. I just couldn't lose. Until it wasn't the bull market anymore and it started to be the bear market, then the numbers, they just weren't doing what I wanted. So then I actually started to learn things, and that was great. And then I ended up participating in the sacrifices, and I ended up waiting for a long time. And while I waited, I learned. And after I learned, I partnered up with Yellow Cake, and we started building. Here we are.
Nice, man. Nice. So you're a founder of the PHUX protocol. For people that don't know what PHUX or PHUX is, what do these protocols do?
Well, they are fairly complicated for new people, but they're a key part of crypto. Basically, you're in regards to the PHUX exchange, which is a fork of Balancer V2. It's about the most advanced form of DEX that there is. You can pair up to 8 assets together in one liquidity pool in different ratios. So it can be like one asset is 1%, one asset is 73%, or whatever you want. And that allows for some very dynamic pool options. And it's probably one of the most efficient ways to provide liquidity. Reason being, when you create a pool with 8 assets, you've effectively, for people who are used to normal Uniswap or PancakeSwap V2 pools, you've effectively created 28 pools. There are 28 pairs in that one LP pool. And for something like where there's a pulse component of the pool, and then you have several different tokens that are associated with a certain team or something, that team gets to use that pulse with every other token they have in the pool. So it can actually be a cost saver as far as how much you have to put in liquidity if you have more than one token, because all your tokens can be in one pool. They can all use each other for liquidity, as well as all use the same pile of Pulse or USDC or whatever you're using for liquidity there. So that's the basic functionality of Balancer and the PHUX exchange. But the next level of it is it's the best kind of democracy, Matt. And that's where you're only voting about money. There's a voting system, a DAO system, you could say, built into Balancer and PHUX. And PHUX, by the way, is the one that we have on the Pulse chain. That's the fork of Balancer. And on PHUX, you can vote for which pool pays the most. And the pool that gets the most votes gets the most bonus yield in the form of the PHUX token directed towards it.
So, I mean, real DeFi, people voting, completely decentralized, not controlled by one party. Perfect.
Yep. And then that's where we can start talking about PHUX, because PHUX is built on top of the PHUX exchange. So the PHUX exchange is the DEX. Now, PHUX is the yield and vote amplifier. It's a fork of something called Aura Finance, which works with Balancer on Ethereum, which is more or less a fork of Convex, which works with Curve on Ethereum. Now, on the Pulse chain, obviously, we built it on top of on the PHUX exchange, and what PHUX does is it gives you bonus yield and it gives you superior voting power for the participants. So, and it's not magic. It's literally just numbers. PHUX now controls, let me double check because it changes every single day, 81.67% of the total votes on the PHUX exchange.
Wow.
So, wow. And since the votes are just about money, that's a pretty valuable commodity. And that number keeps growing because what the protocol does is it continuously buys the PHUX tokens, which is what controls the votes, and it locks them permanently. They can never be sold inside the PHUX protocol. So it's bullish for the holders of the PHUX token and people who are participating with the PHUX exchange in general. And once they're in there, they're going to direct votes as well as generate yield. And that number just keeps growing because the protocol just keeps buying more and more as it harvests and building up that number. So, you know, it's never going to hit 100, but like we're already at 81.67%. And, you know, like we'll probably, maybe we see 90% in the next 6 months. And that's, yeah, that's a lot of financial momentum for what is usually the second or third, well, it's always second or third biggest DEX on the Pulse chain by total value locked.
Amazing. I think going back to the point that you actually talked about when you first got into crypto is important here, because for newbies, when they hear about maybe PHUX or 2PHUX, it sounds a lot of stuff and overwhelming. But like you said, once you get past the fact that number doesn't go up forever, you need to learn how these things work, right? Especially if you want to be in crypto for a while, and DeFi, and how, yeah, PHUX is a very good place for, you know, the pools and the DEXs. And then obviously how 2PHUX sits on that, and on top of that, and the yield you can earn. So, it's step by step, but once you learn about how you can use these protocols, especially in a time when crypto isn't going up, right? I guess you learned about this in the bear market, right? When number wasn't going up, it was going down, if anything.
Pretty much. I had a lot of time on my hands to watch the number go down. So, but like obviously, you know, there were plays in the bear market too, and it is like as most of the other Pulse chain founders found, like the bear market is the best time for building. And that's why we have such a great suite of protocols on the Pulse chain, is because people built in the bear. And now that the bull is here or well on the way, there's some good choices.
Indeed, indeed. So recently we, well, a new pool was created, a new power play pool was created on PHUX, right? And which people can deposit into and also then stake in 2PHUX. So there's that double yield thing going on. We could talk about a bit more about that.
Okay. So tell you what, Matt, maybe I'll share my screen because there's some details here that are probably better to actually visualize. Just give me a sec to work out the tech here.
Here for the tech as always.
Always. Okay, so let's go to the PHUX exchange. That's PHUX.io. And one thing while I'm loading up here, I want to clarify is that we're essentially talking about two separate teams here. So there's the PH team that built the PHUX exchange. They built Fiat, which is the fork of Aave, and Fame, which is the fork of GMX. And they have their new betting protocol called BetDream.io, I believe. I have no idea what that's a fork of. It's kind of like Polymarket. So that's those are their accomplishments. We built on top of the PHUX exchange. So that's Yellowcake and I. So we're a separate team, but we very much have some shared goals, to be sure, because we both want the PHUX exchange to be successful. Here we go. Oh, wrong screen. So but yeah, it's important to know that you are dealing with two different teams, but we're all here to help you out if we can. Okay.
All
so
adding to the Pulse chain ecosystem. So here we go.
Exactly.
Add this.
Okay, so we have here the PH Universe Exchange. You can see that there's 18 million total value locked, and the volume is a really big number. They do between 1 million and 2 million a day in volume through the DEX, which is fairly impressive. The Pitius DEX aggregator routes through this routinely, which is great. So it's yeah, definitely pretty good for that. The place we want to go is to this PHUX page, because this contains all the pools that you can vote on. And these are also all the pools that pay bonus yield. So anybody can add a pool to the PHUX exchange in terms of adding liquidity, but only certain pools get to be gauged, which is just shop talk for incentivized. So these are the pools that will pay bonus yield. They're the pools that you can vote for, right? And it's a decentralized system, meaning that anybody can vote for these pools. It's yeah, it's definitely efficient. I like it. So let's find the POWERCITY pools. We can actually sort it right here. Let's look up the Watt token. There it is. Okay, so we can see in this pool, there's a mix of tokens. We have Flex, 25% Flex, 25% Pulse, 25% Earn, and 25% Watt, right? So we have all three of the core POWERCITY tokens in equal ratios against Pulse. And so obviously this Pulse can be used by each of these tokens, plus they're all paired against each other. So this is a very versatile and practical liquidity pool. But the really interesting thing is that it will pay you extra. And that's because we can see here that it has received 3.22% of all the votes on the PHUX exchange are going towards this pool right now. And that's a relatively significant percentage. So if we take a look inside the protocol, and I'll tell you right now, sometimes the PHUX exchange can be buggy. It's a little bit it's a little bit slow to load on occasion. There's a lot going on, a lot more than there are on more simple dexes. So it could be better. Refreshing often fixes the problem.
Okay. But yeah, there's a lot going on, right, in one place. So we'd love it lightning speed, but
yeah, lightning speed is not one of the features offered today. Perhaps on a future upgrade.
Oh, here we are.
Okay, so we can see that this pool is paying between 26 and 61%, right? The APR is here. So the APR breakdown, let me zoom in on that because I think we could do, get some more data out of here for the peeps. Okay, so we can see the APR starts with the swap fees. There we go.
Okay.
At 2.99%. So that's how much of the APR is coming out of the swap fees. But the actual APR the person could get is much greater than that, because at the bottom we see the minimum and maximum PHUX APR, right? So that's between 23% and 58%. So that portion of the APR is strictly coming from people voting for this pool. So obviously there's a fair amount of votes to this pool, boosting it well beyond the 3% you would normally make if it was just a pool and did nothing else, to potentially as high as 58%. Now this is just on the PHUX exchange. In a moment we'll go over two PHUX. So the difference between the 23% and the 58% is made up by how many PHUX tokens you have locked in the wallet where you've staked that LP. If you have a lot of them locked, and on the PHUX exchange you lock them for up to a full year to get the best results, you could potentially get the 58%. But if you have less than that, or none in your wallet, then you're going to get the minimum, the 23%. So there's a motivation there to lock those tokens, but there's obviously a large financial commitment in locking potentially thousands and thousands of dollars of PHUX tokens just so you can get the higher APR in the pool, right? So that might have not been the token that you want to participate with. And that's one of the features that 2PHUX provides, because we have millions of dollars of PHUX permanently locked in our contract. And when you use the 2PHUX front end, it's like you're using our wallet. Obviously, it's everything's delegated to your wallet, but you'll get a boost based on the millions of dollars in PHUX that we have in our contract versus maybe the tens of thousands that you have in your own wallet. So definite benefit to the average user there, and even for whales, it's just a good use of funds. But the PHUX token is still being bought. It's just being bought by the 2PHUX contract instead of by people. So it's stayed relatively strong since we launched, in my opinion.
So to reiterate, for people, like you said, if they were doing this on their own, right, and staking, maybe they're using $1,000, $10,000, but with 2PHUX, you're basically benefiting from, it's like you said, the mass of TVL, but it's delegated to your own wallet, right?
That's right. Yeah. So you're basically staking an LP, providing like you're a whale. That is the difference. It's like you are a huge whale that had all this financial value that you could put into just staking the PHUX token, but you don't have to go that deep down the road. So that's where I'm going to share my screen for 2PHUX, and we can see those same numbers, but on 2PHUX instead of on PHUX, and see what our APRs are going to be. I think we will find there's a difference.
And I'm sure when you were learning about this too, when I was like, yield's great, but then yield on top of yield, right? So this is where things start to compound and things start to get interesting, where again, crypto's great, number go up, we all want that. But as we both found out, it doesn't always happen, and it does go down for a long time.
That's right. And especially in a sideways period of time, where you have things that are moving sideways, like they're not going up much, they're not going down much. That's where yield farming can be particularly strong. In a time when you're moving into a bull market, yield farming can still be strong. Like look at some of the APRs on this page. Like I have my top paying pool is paying 900% plus APR. So yeah,
Wow.
it's impressive, but impermanent loss is the feature that you want to look out for. And that means that one of the tokens that you're participating with goes up or down faster than the other tokens. You get left with more of the token that's less valuable. But the loss is only permanent once you withdraw the liquidity. So if you're in it for the long term, it's less of an issue. And I don't think liquidity providing is a day-to-day activity. Like you should always have at least a 90-day outlook on these sorts of things. But again, the concept of things being paired together that are correlated with each other, so they're going to go up and down at a similar rate. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. That's a huge advantage. So here's the power play pool. Just let it load here. Again, we got a lot of data we're pulling here, so it takes a minute, but it is quite a bit faster in the PHUX exchange because we're only parsing the data from the gauge pools. Like nothing is on here that isn't a farm, right?
Gotcha.
So we can see the APR on this pool is currently 166%. So it's multiple times greater than you get on the PHUX exchange. And the reason for that is because you're getting additional tokens, right? So you're getting PHUX tokens, but you're also getting 2 PHUX tokens. And the difference puts you at 166% potentially. So that's a huge advantage, obviously, just in immediate yield for the user. But the long term of it is that there ends up being you end up having the ability to get these tokens that have utility and then vote for your pool, because the 2 PHUX token is the token that controls that 81% of the votes that is currently available. So if you're a community member at POWERCITY and you're participating in this pool, you're getting the 166%. Okay, that's great, good for you. But like if you want the ride to continue, there has to be more votes going to that pool. And the place people can do that is on 2 PHUX, which is where you're going to receive the yield anyway. You can go to this lock page over here. There's an option here to lock your tokens. Once you lock them, you'll see on the left side, there's an option you delegate to your own wallet, and then you can vote. And the voting page looks very similar to the page on PHUX. You just go through, you pick your pool you want, decide on the percentages that are going to the pool, and then you'll end up having your votes go towards that pool for the next voting cycle.
Gotcha. A nice clean interface.
Yeah.
Everything there that you can see, like on most DeFi places, stake, unstake, all that stuff there. So so for someone who's, let's say, users, they've got into the pool they've provided liquidity on PHUX, they've taken over their LP tokens to 2 PHUX and they're staking here. Do they need to claim rewards often, or does it auto compound for someone who's just thinking about they want to do this now? How's that work?
For the LP providers, so first off, I recommend that you add the LP on PHUX. So you enter the pool on the PHUX exchange. It provides great numbers for the slippage and all that kind of thing, so that you know you're making the right decision when you press the button. Now, it is possible to add liquidity via the 2 PHUX front end, and of course, all the liquidity ends up on the PHUX exchange anyway. But we don't have as many details about what the slippage is and stuff like that. So we end up giving you many disclaimers saying, don't do this, press this button, do it here instead. But as a fail-safe, we do have that option. It's very easy for the users to add their LP tokens to the PHUX exchange, or sorry, from the PHUX exchange to 2 PHUX. So they just add the LP there, then they come over to 2 PHUX. They go to this portfolio page, and it will, once it populates, it'll show the LP tokens that are in that wallet that qualify. It'll only show the ones that are gauge pools. So we can see here in my wallet, and this is my test wallet, by the way. So these are the 3 pools that this wallet is in. It's in the 2 Solid pool, the Lone Star pool, and the Bromance pool. So if one of these tokens wasn't staked, it would give me a stake option to the right here, where I could just press stake, and then I could add my LTP tokens on the PHUX exchange. And, fairly simple. So this is $1,000 we're looking at is all that's in this wallet that's staked here. But we can still see that it generates yield. So I can't remember the last time I claimed it. It wasn't that long ago, maybe yesterday. So we can see $2.40 I made since yesterday on this $1,000, right? And it shows up, each individual pool is itemized. You can click on it to see what the distribution is. So we can see on this pool, that it's the total account of tokens of PHUX tokens and 2 PHUX tokens, the value of each, and then the total value. And then you don't have to click on each thing to claim it. There is a select all button, and then I can claim all the rewards in one go.
Awesome. Awesome. So people don't have to be doing multiple clicks and multiple gas transactions. They can just come in here, choose what they want, and then claim it all. Perfect. Easy, making it easy for users, which is always good.
Yep.
So
easier is better.
I was just going to bring this up. Fantastic. You're thinking on the same page. Because the next thing I was going to talk about is this brand new stable pool, right? That was created less than 24 hours ago, I think.
Oh yeah. Literally, it just like it just became a gauge pool, so a pool that you can vote for like hours ago. So right now, that means it's not on 2 PHUX yet, but it will be on there probably tomorrow afternoon. It takes about 24 hours for the protocol to pick up that there's a new gauge pool, and then it gets pulled from PHUX to 2 PHUX. So people will be able to participate on both screens. But right now, yeah, there's the stable power pool, and it is live. It is hex DC. So from the Flex protocol, the liquidity fork that uses hex as collateral. There's the stablecoin PXDC from the ERM protocol that uses Pulse X as collateral, and then they're paired with DAI, which is great. DAI from Ethereum. So this is one of the things that helps these liquidity fork tokens keep their pegs is when they're paired with DAI and they're directly transferable into DAI. It makes them even more stable. So this is a fantastic pool. I think it's going to encourage people to mint HexDC and PXDC. And that's going to be big. So not much money in this pool yet because literally just created. There's nobody's had any time to put money in. It's just whatever the devs put in to make the pool. But I think this pool is going to be hot. I think it's going to be one of the best paying pools on PHUX and 2 PHUX as far as stable coins go. And Matt, when we were talking about impermanent loss before, in my opinion, that doesn't apply to this pool because you have stable coins paired against stable coins paired against stable coins. They should all be worth $1.
Yeah, I mean that is I guess the safest. Obviously, there's risk with everything, right? But the safest way to LP is going to be with stables, and this is a stable pool. So as long as these coins all maintain their peg, and we've seen them all maintain their peg for HexDC and PXDC perfectly for 6-7 months now, or if not more, and then of course DAI. So a very stable place. I know Jesse loves his stable coin yield, and it's another great thing to learn about.
He likes stable coins, yeah.
He does. It's another great thing to learn about when, like we talked about, when you've got over the hype of crypto and you're like, okay, I want to get into DeFi now. I want to earn yield. I want to dip my toe into LPing, which, as you said, can be good, but there can be that impermanent loss depending on what tokens you're LPing with. So
exactly,
it's another place for people to get yield on PHUX and on 2 PHUX.
Yep. And like with a pool like this is a little bit different. The PHUX exchange is probably the best place on Pulse Chain for stablecoins in particular. And that's because they have a special type of pool that's made for stablecoins where they can move more freely between each other. So the fee is much lower than other DEXs, so 0.05%, which of course that fee goes to people who are providing LP. So you don't want there to be zero fee. But then this pool is incentivized. So there'll be the voting, there'll be the bonus yield in PHUX and 2 PHUX tokens if you use the 2 PHUX front end. So as far as stable pools go, I think this will be one of the highest paying ones. And it's pretty easy to get into. So here I have the add liquidity button. Oh, good. I have some HexDC in this wallet. So I have, there's 3 tokens to get into this pool. I only have 1 right now. Now, do I have to go out and buy the other ones? Let's press the button and see what happens. No, I don't. Okay. I can just enter with 1 stable coin, right? With minimal price impact because it's a stable pool. It's going to move between them fairly easily. You can check the slippage number at the bottom here. If you don't want to pay 0 or close to, what you need to do is balance it to be a little bit closer to each other. And then you'll find you're going to get to that number. 4.2. Oops. Anyway, butterfingers. But the stable pools are easy to enter, much easier than a lot of the other pools. You'll just have to do an approval for all the tokens that you're adding into the pool.
Sure.
And off you go.
Well,
So
it's great
then,
because someone can do either one, two, or all three of them, right? It's up to them what they want to do, depending.
exactly. So we
Mm.
can see here, this pool's paying 6% APR. That's strictly swap fees. We're talking about so little money here that it's not really meaningful that's in this pool right now. But once this pool is larger and votes start going towards it, like there's not a set amount that it will pay. It depends on those votes and how much the community decides to vote for this pool. But like, I could see this being a pool to pay 30, 40%, if the community gets on board with it. And I think that will have great side effects that are going to affect the POWERCITY protocols in a positive way. People will be incentivized to mint HEXDC and PXDC to participate in this pool, which is huge, right? So obviously, that's going to benefit people who are staking the EARN and the FLEX tokens. And then when that happens and these tokens come over, we're just going to have a more robust marketplace for stable coins on the Pulse chain in general. So very bullish about this stable pool.
Yeah.
So, and by tomorrow, you'll be able to add the LP here. And when you add the LP here, it will say, now you can stake to earn more. And the trick is, don't stake it. Go to the PHUX page and stake it there instead. It ends up in the same place. It's still all the funds are on the PHUX exchange, but then you get the bonus PHUX tokens as far as your payout in APR goes.
That's an important point to reiterate, because I've done that before where I've provided liquidity on PHUX, and then it just kind of, if you just follow the steps, you end up staking on PHUX, but you just need to bounce. Yeah, you just need to bounce over to PHUX to the correct pool.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with staking in PHUX. I'm just saying right now, with facts on the ground, in almost every situation, you'll probably get paid more if you put your LP token on PHUX instead.
Well, like we talked about, you're essentially with a bigger bag, right? Because you're utilizing the TVL.
You're staking like you're a whale. That's all there is to it. So then, like, when the community starts participating with these, and the other pool, the Power Play pool, has been live for weeks now, and it's doing great, paying 166%. When you get that yield, on the PHUX page, you can vote. If you have PHUX tokens that you get, you can also vote on the PHUX page, right? So with the PHUX front end, you can vote. You can also lock your PHUX tokens and vote. They won't have as much of an effect because PHUX has 81% of the vote now, but it's not no effect. And if you currently have, some people are still locked in the PHUX protocol because there's that 1-year lock. If you have those votes available and you're not doing anything with them, please point them at one of these 2 POWERCITY pools and contribute to the community in that way. Because when you vote for a pool, you're not just helping your yield, you're helping everyone in the pool gets a bonus to the yield as well, which of course could even affect the token prices if people are buying the tokens to go into the pool.
Yep. Very, very interesting. So it's great. We've got all these new ways. I mean, just new ways to earn yield on top of yield, and when you go down the rabbit hole, the possibilities are endless. So this is awesome, man. So thanks for coming on and showing us this. As a man who's got into crypto, gone through the bear market, has become a builder now, how do you feel? I mean, we talked about Bitcoin's at 100K today, back over 100K. Ethereum's nearly 3.8 at the moment. Is the bull market on? Are we going into the bull market? What do you foresee?
Well, I think the 100K Bitcoin seems like it could be an indicator. I don't want to speculate, but I feel pretty bullish about it. I'm not really a chart guy. Like I look at the charts obviously, and I have some insight about reading the charts, but like I definitely consult with others before making any sort of prediction whatsoever. But my sources tell me things are looking up.
Well, it's just nice to see some green candles. Obviously, we've all been through a brutal bear market since 2021. So it's just nice to see green candles in the wider crypto market, and back in Pulse chain. Going to go Pulse and seeing those numbers in the green is nice, right?
We deserve this, Matt. Like it's been like people who've held through the bear market, waiting for the Pulse chain to launch, and then after it launched and it wasn't as good as we hoped, and all the things, all the feelings that you're supposed to have, and it's okay. If you're still here, you deserve this. So it's this community is so strong and so smart and has so many builders that are actively participating in the community every day that yeah, I can't see us not winning. But there's a lot going on. We have the SEC stuff with Richard Hart and stuff like that. You know, I think you know, there's going to be some big wins in the future for the Pulse chain. We are. I don't think we have seen our top of the bull yet. I can't comment on whether Bitcoin is going to go up or down, but I feel strongly that the Pulse chain is not done its run. Those are my opinions.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. Like you said, if you've been through the bull market and you've held, and like you said, even with Pulse chain, right? The wait for Pulse chain, and then it came out and it didn't pop off like we thought it was straight away. If you're still here, if you're still holding, then yeah, you deserve to win. You deserve to win. Listen, man, I really appreciate you. Thanks for coming on and sharing all this great information about PHUX and 2PHUX and how people can make more yield. Where can people find out more about you if they want to? What Telegram or Twitter should they go to?
You bet. So you can find me on Twitter at Fast Abdoul, as displayed on the screen. I spell it a little bit different than usual. Or the best place to track us down is just go to the website. So it's 2phux.io. From there, there's links to the Telegram. The Telegram is probably the best place where we can we can talk to you and explain to you what you need to know to participate with these great protocols. And I can coach people on the PHUX protocol as well. I don't work there. It's a different team, but I understand it very well, and I'm willing to answer your questions if you have any questions there. I will strongly caution people to make sure that you're always talking to the right person. I will never send you a private message. I will never DM you on Twitter or on Telegram. If somebody is DMing you, there's a good chance it's a scammer. So just be very cautious. There's a lot of scammers out there. As the Pulse chain goes up, there's going to be more and more. And we're starting to rise in the rankings of other DEXs. So these guys are coming out of the woodworks. But yeah, we are here to help you. Just make sure you're talking to the right people all the time.
Awesome, man. This has been fun and educational, and I hope we can do it again sometime soon.
That'd be great. Thanks, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for watching, guys. And for any of the real links that we've been talking about today, you can find those below in the description box. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.